I know everybody says money can't buy happiness, but it can buy me a boat.
I love that song.
It can buy me a
Welcome back to the Stockwell Roche Show. I'm Jason Stockwell with Remax Results.
Josh Roche, Remax Advantage Plus.
Red flags we're going to be talking about next, and then also about what to do with your extra money. So welcome from all the way across the pond. We have Jane Green here.
Right.
Welcome, Jane.
Hi, Jason. Hi, Josh.
How are you doing?
Thanks for having me. I'm doing good.
Good. We're glad to have you.
Yeah, so Jane is an active investor here in the Twin Cities, and wanted to have her on to give a real live story from someone who's actually doing it every day and learn from her successes and her struggles and pitfalls. So maybe first off, Jane, what got you into real estate investing? What brought you here? Just a little background on you and anything you want to share would be great.
Well, I came here 11 years ago with my husband for his job, and I've always been interested in real estate, and I did this in London for a while, but I kind of figured that I eventually sold off everything I had in London, and as this was going to be my permanent home. And I really started 6 years ago with like 1 or 2 rentals and just got into it very slowly and learned the business at my own pace. And I think it was about 2 years ago, I decided to renovate something and sell it. And I just enjoyed it so much that it's just been a process, really, like a slow process of learning. And I just really enjoy it and get a lot out of it.
Let me ask you this before we go any further, because I'm curious on financing over in London. Is it different?
It's much better here.
Is it much better
Yeah,
here?
it's much easier to get financing.
Really? Interesting.
And the interest rates are much better here, definitely.
Really?
Yes.
Huh. Interesting.
Yes.
And the prices over in London are insane.
The prices are insane.
I've heard that.
And you just get so much more for your money here. And it's not as risky. There's such a great corporate presence here. The market's much more stable. And the rental market's so strong here. I literally, for the last 6 years, I don't think any of my properties have been empty for longer than like 1 or 2 months, if even that. So it's a really good market for that.
That's really good to hear, folks, for Twin Cities, that from someone who's not from here in the Twin Cities to come in and say positive things about our market, number one, our job and our corporations, and also about everything about the real estate market. It's great,
economy here in the U.S., right?
And our interest rates are great. So it's easy. So, Jane, one last question, or I got another question for you about the TV shows. You know, Flip This House and all these things where
they make it look so easy.
Thousands of dollars.
It's really not easy. And I was listening before to what Robin was saying. You really do need a good realtor. There's a huge difference between an expert and someone that's part-time that's just started. And even though there's nothing wrong with that, because we all have to start somewhere, I think finding someone like Jason and his team,
and Josh
and Josh, sorry, and Josh, of course, Josh as well. I think that there's a huge, if you have someone that you trust that has no local knowledge of the market, it just makes the biggest difference between success and somebody. There's just experts and people that have been doing it, like both of you, for years, that really understand the market, know what you're doing. Have great reputations, want to build up trust with their clients. It's a team effort, definitely. You need to find people.
So I'm new
trust.
to investing. Pretend I'm brand new to investing, never invested. I'm listening to this segment on YouTube or watching you, Jane, on YouTube, seeing how you've come here and learned it and started slowly. What would be a couple of takeaways or some tips for me as a new investor that you would say, hey, because you've had, I'm sure, great ones, and you've had not so great ones. So maybe a story with one of those and maybe some tips from it. Or
I think that the main thing is do your own research. However good your realtor is, your contractor, even your inspector. I always call the city myself, look for pending assessments. I always ask for references from, like if I'm choosing a contractor, I definitely always want a reference, and then I will personally go and look at the work myself. So I think the most important thing is as many tips and great advice you get from other people, never just like take something on face value. Always go and do your own research and check that it's...
be actively involved.
Yeah, be actively involved.
Just being saying,
yes.
I'm just going to...
Yep.
buy this and not do anything
No,
and make a ton of money.
you have to check. I go once a week to my projects. Always check that everything's
you?
on time. I phone the city, check permits have been pulled. I had a situation where a guy told me he had permits pulled. I came to sell it. There's not one permit.
Oh,
You
my
have to
gosh.
Go back and redo all the work, which is like the worst thing. I think also
That's pretty bad.
the cheapest estimate isn't always the best one.
Oh.
That's what I've learned. I always used to just go with whoever was the cheapest, and then what happens is you have change orders, and it ends up being double the amount.
So the guy that wasn't pulling permits was probably really cheap.
Yes, he was totally cheap, and I thought he was great. And what happened was I think you have to get everything in writing, and it feels awful to do it because it feels so, like you don't trust people.
Right.
But so many times,
Well, you've got a lot of money invested in those
yeah, a lot
things,
of money.
Right, right.
And
You should do that.
I always laugh with my husband and say, it's not like friends going for dinner, like you'll pay, I'll pay,
I'll
and
pay,
everyone
right,
wants to
right.
pay. You really have to treat people like they might be, they might
Full
be doing something
disclosure.
dishonest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though, sometimes they're not, but just to protect yourself. Because so many times I've had that gut, like follow your gut feeling. I've had that feeling that maybe something's wrong. And I haven't listened to it. I thought, oh no, everything's going to be fine. And normally your gut feeling, actually, especially as a woman, is often right.
Really?
So I think there's, if you feel something's not right, then definitely ask questions, get things in writing. It's
That's
really
good
important.
advice.
Well, and we
It's
know
really
that
good
from the
advice.
lending and real estate world, disclosure, everything.
Yes. Oh,
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
every year or every 3 months, there's a new disclosure that comes out about something, and a change because something happened and it went sideways and now we need a disclosure so that doesn't happen again. So it's a great advice.
I like it. So we'll be back more with Jane Green, an active investor here in the Twin Cities who's so gracious to give her time on the show here to share her experiences. And you're actually picking up, as we talked about on break, Jane, you are picking up a hint of a Minnesota accent. We all
Just a little bit.
On
Can't catch
certain
a
words,
balloon.
definitely on certain words. When I go back to London, it's very, very, like my family and
say
friends.
Minnesota.
that was more of a joke on my end, but
No, I think I am, definitely, in some words.
Both.
So, since we're on the topic of money, and a lot of you out there maybe in the silver, what do we call it? Silver tsunami in that
that's what
era,
we call it.
and that's no offense to you, that's actually a compliment where you've actually made it, you're in the retirement mode, and you've saved up a lot of money. Eric and Jeff here with Country Financial want to talk about what you can do with some of your money, and that might be helpful if you have saved up to pool, right, guys? What's the main topic of today, or what are you seeing a lot out there with people coming to you and asking you questions about?
Right. Thanks for having me on. I don't know if last time we were on, we kind of started with, we talked about, the younger generation and how to kind of break off just with the 401k and start saving with something
Just
like a
getting
Roth IRA,
started,
just
yeah.
doing something else outside of your work. And today we're going to kind of talk about the opposite of once you've got there. You're just about to retire, you're 55, 60, within 10, 5, 10, 3 years, you're just about to retire. The baby boomers right now, it's the largest demographic we've ever had of people that are going to go into retirement right now, and they've also done the best out of any generation of saving their money. But it's what do you do now?
Right.
And where do you go, and how do you not outlive it, I think is the biggest concern right now. So I know Jeff will
Where
touch
do you
on-
put it where you don't live
Right.
past
yeah,
what
I mean,
have to-
you're going to
that makes
retire
sense.
now. You've done a great job. It's like, okay, now what? And I know my dad is in that. My parents are in that situation now too. It's like, okay, we're healthy. The biggest fear is we don't want to outlive our money. What are some avenues and things we can do to make sure that doesn't happen? Different things besides, you're just cash it out and see what, roll the dice. So,
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be good to know because
Right, that's-
that's a fear for a lot of people, and it would be if you're at that age where you want to retire, or maybe you do think you can retire this year. Let's say you're thinking of retiring or next year, but then you think, well, what if I do go and live to be, great, 85, 90, who knows, 100, and do I have enough saved up?
so
what
there
are
are
some
people
strategies, what are
living
some tips?
95 years old now. It's 30 years after they retired, and
Yes.
it's a long time.
Yep.
Do I have enough money to live that long? And what are some things I can do to be sure that I don't run out of money too?
So they should definitely, one is talk to you guys for sure to give an assessment, right, of where they're at and what they're doing for a strategy. But maybe, Jeff, you can go into some more other good information.
Yeah, and just give a real quick history lesson here. When we talk, we're talking this baby boom generation, the generation before them. The biggest difference in retirement was most of that previous generation had pensions.
Yes.
So you went to work for a company, you worked for them for 30, 40 years, and you got a pension, and they give you a paycheck for the rest of your life.
That sounds awesome.
So you didn't have to worry. It does sound awesome.
Where do I get
but
one of those?
Unfortunately, they do still exist, but they're waning away. There's not many people that have that
Yeah.
luxury.
I don't think my company does not have one. No.
It's pretty much all turned to all companies have gone the route of 401k. So
Yep.
the biggest difference is that now the employee has the risk. They've got to put the money away. It's their responsibility. The company's not putting it away for them. They might give them a little matching money on their account, which
Yeah.
always take advantage of. Amazing the amount of people that don't take advantage of that their employer's offering free money, but because they don't participate in the plan, they don't get that free money.
Yeah, that's something you always should do if you have the
If you have the opportunity, yes, definitely take advantage of that where you can.
And so that's the biggest difference. And then, of course, now with this 401k, which really it's your account, everyone's concern heading into retirement is it going to last? Because like Eric just said, things that are going up, taxes, interest rates, they really don't have anywhere to go but up. Longevity. Everybody's living longer. The quality of life, you could argue, maybe that's not there if for someone 85, 90, but they are living longer, so your money has to last longer. Your paychecks have to last longer. So
Yeah.
what are some of the strategies we can do to help with that?
And we don't know what's going to happen with Social Security. So hopefully
Correct.
you aren't relying on that 100% for your retirement
Shouldn't
plan.
be. Never intended for that. It says right on the front of your statement.
Oh, does
it? Was
it?
never
Well,
intended as your
I don't pay
Social
attention to
Security.
mine that much. So Jeff and Eric, thanks. We'll be back with more talking about how to reach out to them and also some other strategies. And we'll be back with Jane. I'm Jason Stockwell with Remax Results.
Josh O'Shea, Remax Advantage Plus.
Stay tuned.
It's no relation to the meaning of life. It's a dang fool husband doesn't spring for his wife. A ditto spending money to burn.